Go back to, did you have anything else?
You can, it might not be with this app, but there are other poll apps where people can add options themselves to allow them to add options and have people vote on them just like anything else. And that's, a lot of companies do that with naming contests for stuff. So they'll have people add an option, or add a name that they came up with, and people can come in and vote on that name if they like it. That way that the company doesn't have to go in and individually list all the names themselves that they get. So it just cuts out a middleman for that.
Well, and while we're on here, I'm just going to go on and talk about other parts of the business page so that we don't have to jump back over. Over here, we'll see if I wanted to switch back and post on my personal pages myself, I would just click use Facebook as Lisa. Notifications shows me all of the notifications that I have for all of the pages that I administer. And again, it's being really slow, but it'll tell me if somebody liked a page, it'll tell me if somebody commented, and that kind of thing. I have no clue why it's being so slow, but so we're just not going to wait for that to load. If I wanted to promote it with an ad, I could click here and it would take me to the advertising section. If we have time later, we'll kind of look around in that, but I think if we go to it right now, we'll get too bogged down, so I'm just going to mention it, that the good thing about advertising on Facebook is you can literally target an exact demographic, because when people set up an account, they put, well, most people do, you don't have to put all of it, but your age, your location, your interests, and that kind of thing. So I could go on, let's say I'm Linda, and I design jewelry, and I would go on and I might want to pick, well, I want to pick women, obviously, but also men, because they buy jewelry for their wives. But there's probably a very specific age range that's better for your market, and not geographically probably, because anybody in the country, but some companies might have something that's more geographic. And then you might even want to do income level. There's all different, and also you can even pick interests. So let's say if I have some kind of golf shop, whatever, some kind of golf-related business, then I can choose golf as one of the interests, because you don't want to show your ad to somebody who isn't interested at all. So it's a really cool way to be able to very specifically target demographics. We don't use it, so I can't give you a lot of feedback on the effectiveness. There are a lot of companies that it's really effective for, and there are others that it's not. So if it's something that you're interested in, you just should play around with it and try it out. I think it really probably depends on a lot on the kind of business that you are, but also, as with any ad, how you design it.
Yeah, we used them for different events for the prize wheel over the last year, and we could target by age, region. We could also set a limit, because it's like 3 cents an ad or something to click on. So if it maxed out at like $100 or $500, then the ad would quit popping up. So it was a great way if you had a very limited advertising budget to be very specific on how you're using that budget.
Right, you don't have to worry about that you're going to get a rude surprise with a huge bill. The other thing is that there are 2 different ways of paying. You can either do pay per click, which is that you only pay if somebody clicks on your ad, or you can do pay per impression, which means the number of times that it shows up on somebody's page. And there are different uses for each. If all I'm trying to do is increase brand awareness, then cost per impression is more important to me. But if I'm looking to make a sale, then I want people to click on my ad. So it really, there's a really big difference. For some companies, it might be a fine line, but yeah, I would. Anyway, I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but anyway, those are the two kinds of ads that you can do. Do you have anything else?
A certain amount of impressions?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you guaranteed a certain number of impressions?
Do you know?
I've never registered for it, but they charge by number of impressions, so I'm assuming that means that it'll show up on somebody's profile at least that many times, or a certain number of people will see it at least that many times.
Yeah, because if you're paying by impression, obviously they want it to show up. But see, it's also going to depend on the demographic that you've chosen, because you might be choosing a really wide demographic, or you might be choosing a really narrow one. So that's a tough question to answer, because what if there are only 100 people on all of Facebook that have whatever your interest is, and I don't know what that would be, but I'm going to check into that. I wrote a note to myself so that we can answer that. Yeah.
Say you choose a demographic that I'm included in. How would it appear to me? What are the chances of me seeing it? Is it just because I've gone into Facebook and logged in? It's going to show?
Yeah, she's about to show you real fast.
Yeah, we're going to go to my news feed.
Scroll down.
Okay.
Oh, well, this is the business feed. But,
I got to switch back to myself. Sorry. I have split personalities.
Go to home. Click home.
Yeah.
And here's where the ads show up, right here.
Oh, okay.
Right side?
Yeah.
See, sponsored, there's the bistro.
Right here. And right there. And depending on what your interests are, it'll be different kinds of ads. Like Mom's got a lot of local interests, so it'll show a lot of local ads, whereas I do a lot of gaming, so I mostly just get video game ads.
Well, and you would also get Richmond, if somebody's targeting Richmond.
And yeah.
Yeah. You might get some things for South Boston since you're from
I
here.
do get something.
Yeah. So, I mean, but, hey, but, you know, advertising with social media is really, really new, as with everything social media. So still, people are still trying to figure it out. But I think if you're interested in doing it, one thing you should do is start noticing the ads and the sidebars, and start noticing which ones, even if you're not going to click on it, start noticing which ones, if you were, what would you click on? Because that's what you have to start doing, is put yourself in the position of your prospects. Okay, why does it say something really bad? Oh, I don't know what it said, but sorry, Glenn. Okay, where were we?
And John, one of the things I've noticed
was
is we place ads if you're an administrator for a business page. Like if you had one for your B&B, your ad won't show up on your own page.
Yeah, because it knows you're an admin. So, you know,
So
it.
you don't have to pay for that one.
Right.
You're not paying to look at your own ad.
Yeah.
So if somebody clicks on your ad and they go to your business page on Facebook and they want to buy what you're selling, is there a e-commerce
What?
section of Facebook?
Now, it's up to you where the ad goes to. The ad could go to your Facebook page. It could go to your own website. It could go to a video. It's up to you where it links to. But if they want to buy your product, if it's a product that somebody would literally pay for online, then yes, you do need to have e-commerce. But like in our position, we don't sell online because we do custom work. So if we were going to have an ad, what we would want to do is drive them to a specific page of our website. That's called a landing page. If you're going to have an ad on there, you shouldn't just send them to your home page where then they kind of have to figure out what information is valuable to them. You should set up a landing page that's very specific for that ad. It doesn't have to say, oh, you're here because of this ad, but you need to figure out what your goal is in the ad for placing the ad, and then have something of value, whether it's information or an ability to buy something or whatever. Just don't send them to your home page. Did you have anything else you want to say? Okay. Another good thing about using Facebook is that you can integrate it with other websites, your own and also other social media sites. So I'm going to let Glenn talk about this.
We talked about a lot of social media sites before. Twitter was one of them. You can auto-post anything you post on Facebook to Twitter. You can also have your Twitter feed go automatically to your Facebook. So the cool thing about Facebook is that it integrates well into a number of other sites. You can have, say you run a blog on your site, you can have a like button on there or a connect with Facebook button so that people can log in through Facebook and make comments, and those things will in turn show up on their news feed to their friends so that they'll see that they're commenting on this stuff. So it's free exposure. The likes show up on their wall as well. The activity stream, like I mentioned, anytime anybody clicks like or connects or anything on your site or on Twitter, with the Facebook buttons, it'll show up on their activity stream. Help me out with the social filtering thing.
Oh, okay. Social filtering is if you're on a site, you can see, depending on how they have the plugin set up on their site, there might be a tab that you can see only what your friends like on there, rather than what everybody likes, all Facebook users. So, maybe it's a site with a bunch of articles like Mashable.
Yeah.
Which has a lot of social media articles, and I might want to go on there and see what articles my friends liked, because I figure if they like them, I probably will. So that's what social filtering is.
And you can also have, I can't remember exactly how it works, but there's a tagging thing with the live stream where you can say you run a restaurant and you're having some kind of event there one night. Anytime people mention that, you can have. Anytime they mention it on Facebook or Twitter, you can have it show up on a live stream on your Facebook page, so that if people are wondering, I wonder what's going on with this special dinner that they're having, they can go onto your Facebook page and see people raving about it or complaining about it. And in turn, they can decide whether or not they want to come. And like anything, it's free advertising when people are doing that for you, and you're able to put it up on the live stream.
We're going to come back to this in a second, but I want to show you an example of a live stream. Unfortunately, it's not working quite right now for whatever reason. Facebook's plug-in right now, and it isn't our site, because I went and tried it on Facebook itself and it wasn't working right. But like, I could put something in and it's working. I'm just going to put this as a test. And I can enter it, and it shows up right immediately. The problem is, when we were testing it, if I open up another browser and did it, it doesn't show up on this page unless I refresh it. So they're having problems right now with their system, and so the live refresh isn't working right. But this is what was used when President Obama was inaugurated president. I don't know if y'all remember, it was such a big deal because so many people went on to CNN and they were all chatting live about it. It was a Facebook live stream. So I don't know what the problem is right now, but I wanted y'all to see what it looks like.
What's the difference between hitting the share button there and clicking the post to Facebook?
Now, if I click post to Facebook, it'll show up here, but it'll also show up on my timeline on Facebook. Yeah, and you can set the live stream up so that it will automatically put a post to Facebook for everybody, but we don't do it that way. We let people choose, because if you have something that people are chatting a lot on, it's going to end up basically spamming their users. Your friend's news feed is going to get filled up with you talking about stuff that is out of context for them. They don't even know what you're talking. So we always let people have the
That's
the
something you always
choice.
have to be careful with social media, is not to annoy people, because it's very easy to annoy the hell out of people.
Yeah.
In social media. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people would be, well, I want it to automatically share because I want my stuff out there. Well, then all that does is annoy people, because they go, why is this showing? Your friends are annoyed at you, and then you're annoyed at me because I've made your friends mad at you. Right. So now there are some situations that maybe it would be okay if it's something that not a lot of people, but it would also need to be something that whatever comments are made would make sense out of the context of being in the event. Okay, let me see. The bottom right, this is just, I was showing you how we talk about having the like box on your website. This down here on the bottom right is off of WHLF's site, and I was not logged in at the time that I did this screenshot, so the little like button is there. If I had been logged into Facebook, it would have said, you like this. And it shows you can set it up so it shows thumbnails of some of the people. So it's kind of fun, because if people go to a site and that's on there, they might notice somebody that they know, and it might make them pay more attention to the site, and that they want to give it a thumbs up because their friends did.
Yeah, I always check to see if there's anybody there I know.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Glenn, did you have anything else to say about that? Okay, well, this is what I was talking about, the live stream with CNN. This is when it debuted. They worked with CNN to debut it during the presidential inauguration, so people had never seen it before, and it was a big hit, but it also created a lot of publicity for both Facebook and CNN. Do y'all remember hearing about it? Anybody?